After many weeks and months of market corrections in the crypto sector, a lot of people, a lot of traders, market participants are really frustrated. Actually, the fear and greed index still shows extreme fear. But is there hope around the corner? So President Trump suggested that there might be a digital asset reserve that could include ADA. What could that mean for the price, and what would it mean for the price chart and long-term targets? We want to take a look at that today. Let's go. Hello and welcome to another video by MCO. My name is Ben, and today I want to talk a little bit about ADA, Cardano, in a way that I rarely do it normally. So we want to really take a look at the long-term chart. Yeah, we'll also take a brief look at the shorter time frame, but really we want to take a look at the long-term chart. I want to share with you the main scenarios, and especially at the moment, ADA. A lot of people talk about ADA, Cardano. A lot of people talk about it because President Trump suggested that there might be a digital assets reserve. Now, he plans it clearly. I think it will be coming. By the way, let me know in the comments if you think it will happen. Let me know. I mean, while I record this video, the summit in the White House has not happened yet, but it is pretty much around the corner. So when you watch the video, maybe you already know more. But essentially, it all has to go through a certain process, right? It has to go through lawmaking and so on. Depending on what he does, of course, he could always enforce it probably to a certain degree in an executive order. But let's not talk so much about that. That's at the moment not so important. What really is important, people talk about ADA. It has certainly geared market sentiment in a certain way. Let's say there is hope for another rally on the ADA chart. And to be honest, that doesn't really change anything because I'm overall still potentially bullish on ADA, at least on the smaller time frame. At least there should be another rally in this cycle. But let's talk about that. Let's go straight away here to the price chart. But actually, before we do that, I want to share with you the fear and greed index, because the crypto market, as I said in the intro, the crypto market is in a very fearful state. While I record this video, we still see extreme fear. 25 is the rating, which is extreme fear. I think it's just crossing into fear, from extreme fear into fear. But you see the weeks beforehand, yeah, I mean, we were down to 10. You probably saw it tweeted all over, Twitter, or well, X now, formerly Twitter. A lot of people highlighted this really very low reading. Very rarely you really see the fear and greed index go down to that level. 10 is really low. Now, I don't really find that metric so useful. For me, price is everything. But when we get an extremely low reading, but the structure is potentially still bullish, that is something noteworthy. It's a bit like an oversold reading on the relative strength index, for example. Yeah, it's just that the sentiment has turned so, let's say, bearish or fearful, that when the market is still holding bullish support, this could actually lead to a V-shaped recovery, or at least a substantial recovery. So let's talk about the structure, because are we still potentially bullish? And yes, I think we are. I mean, what we see here on the chart, what we see here on the ADA chart is a long-term outlook that still allows for, let's say, two bullish long-term structures. I really want to talk about the bullish long-term structures here for ADA. So first of all, what you see, the rally into the 2021 high. My interpretation is this can be interpreted, it can be counted as a 5-wave move to the upside. So that, from a, let's say, from a bullish point of view, allows me to see ADA as bullish long-term. Nevertheless, we need to be careful. It is still an altcoin, yeah, and it hasn't really proven itself really long-term, and things can change very quickly in the altcoin sector, and I wouldn't really trust an altcoin. So just because a chart shows a potential 5-wave move up, that doesn't necessarily mean it has to go up long-term, yeah. The problem comes with this, like the initial startup candle. I mean, the data is really limited here. I mean, is this an ABC structure? Yeah, I tend to really start the wave counts at the first substantial low after the startup candle. So I can interpret that as a wave 1. Wave 1, if you're not so familiar from an Elliott Wave point of view, especially if the wave 1 is a 5-wave move, it indicates the long-term trend is up, or at least there's a good chance it is up. The market at least shows the motivation that the price should go up long term. We then see a correction, and I have to say I do not like so much the structure of the correction. This is problematic on a longer time frame. Why is that the case? Because this doesn't really clearly look like a three-wave move down to me. I mean, I can interpret it as three waves, and it certainly held above long-term support, which is here around the 5 to 5.5 cent mark. This is really long-term support. If I take the entire measurement from this low to the 2021 high, this is the long-term support area here, and the market is holding above it. So there's no, you know, it's not too problematic, but the structure to the downside could be classed, could be interpreted as a 5-wave move down. What does that mean? Well, that opens the door to the yellow scenario, which is still potentially long-term bullish, but it might mean that the market will enter a, let's say, bear market before actually rallying to an all-time high. So you see, let's talk about the yellow scenario first. In the yellow scenario, we have an A wave down, which bottomed in 2023. Yeah, that was here just below 30 cents. And then the structure to the upside, it is not clearly impulsive. So we have a lot of overlap. Yeah, the last rally here from the November low, that was a 3-wave move. It is just not clearly bullish. And whenever we have a context like that, potential, so we have 5 waves up, potentially 5 waves down, it just gives me mixed signals, which means I'm just on the side of caution. Now, what we can see then here in that rally from the 2023 low, I see potential 5-wave move up, okay, potentially. Not very clear, but it's a potential 5-wave move up. 3-wave pullback, it held a higher low. At the time in August, it held our support area here around 30 cents, yeah, which is the support area for this rally. So that's good, yeah. This is pretty much like the larger support area here for the larger rally. All good. It's holding support. It's respecting Fibonacci levels. These Fibonacci levels, by the way, they help us to stay objective. Because a lot of people say that Elliott Wave is subjective. Well, to a degree it is, yeah. But we have guidelines that we've developed over the years that keep us they keep us not fully objective, right? Because the wave counts still include a degree of subjectivity, yeah, and experience to interpret wave structures. But the Fibonacci levels, they are based on Fibonacci mathematics. So when certain levels are broken, they tell me I have to change my perspective. So that introduces a degree of objectivity into a normally quite subjective analysis, which gives us an advantage over many other analysis firms who might use Elliott Wave, who are just relying on Elliott Wave, visual Elliott Wave counting, right? We used certain Fibonacci guidelines that have proven themselves over the years to keep us, more objective. But of course, there's still a degree of subjectivity. But anyway, these levels are holding. They are mathematical representations of market sentiment. Then we have a rally from there, which was in 3 waves. So then we came down again, very deep pullback. So this move looks like some kind of part of a correction maybe. So at the moment, the thesis is that we're moving up here in the yellow scenario in a high B wave. So we have an A wave down, a B wave up. I like that scenario because the rally looked like 5 waves. Okay, so we can be long-term potentially bullish, at least consider it, right? Then we have a correction which isn't clearly a 3-wave move. I can interpret it as 5 waves, so I want to be on the side of caution. The rally gives me mixed signals, especially that last rally in 3 waves. And I don't want to talk about the micro patterns here, but in the microstructures, I get a lot of corrective movements as well, which might indicate that the move up from the August low, let me zoom in. That the move up, from the August low, I mean, it's really started to pump sort of in November, but the rally from the August low, that is potentially a diagonal structure, an ending diagonal. Also, that gets confirmed by this pullback. So if I'm tracking the yellow scenario, then this would be a wave 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe with one more high to come in wave 5. There are different ways of labeling it. In this case, I've actually labeled it as a larger impulse, but the move up would be a diagonal. There are many ways how this could still eventually unfold. It's not so important. That is more something that we track on the let's say on the micro level on our Morecryptoonline channel, where you get daily rapid market updates. Check it out, by the way, if you're interested. This here is more for the broader context. I just want to help you understand what ADA could do long term. And if we talk about digital assets reserve, people start talking about ADA again. maybe that rally here could unfold. And where could it take us? I think it could take us into the region $1.72, 236. Yeah, that's, I think, realistic in the yellow scenario. Now, careful. It is a B wave. B waves can overshoot. But if the A wave is a 5-wave move, the B wave would rarely overshoot, or not at all, unless I interpret this wrong. So I don't expect an overshooting B wave here. Overshooting B wave means it might go above like $3.10 to new all-time highs. I wouldn't rely on that, okay? I don't expect it. I actually watch for one more high, possibly $1.72, 236. That view can change, yeah? Viewpoints change when new data is coming in, and we will certainly track that going forward. And just make sure that you follow us on our main channel, not the main channel, the crypto channel, Morecryptoonline, for those rapid market updates. You'll find the link in the description. That's one scenario. So what would happen then once we have this top? And another reason why I like this actually is because it aligns so well with my Bitcoin view. On this channel here, I shared with you a lot of updates about Bitcoin. And Bitcoin could be close to a long-term top, also one more high. That is when ADA could maybe even short-term outperform Bitcoin. Catalyst? Potentially digital assets reserve? Maybe. It's always difficult to try to connect that. Yeah? For me, price is key. So this is currently the perspective. Yeah. So it should go higher from here, but please make sure that you follow the micro analysis as well regularly. Yeah. Now, what would happen after the B wave? Well, it could lead to a C wave decline, and there's a good chance then, and it depends on how high the B wave goes, but if it doesn't make a new all-time high, there's a good chance we actually break below the 2023 low, at least in the, let's say, the next larger correction. Then this would be the main stress test for the ADA chart, because from here, in this larger support area, yeah, and maybe we go down to 20 cents, 10 cents, we will have to see where that B wave tops. Only when the B wave is topped, we can calculate a target for wave C. We will then be able to calculate a target, and from here, if the price can hold this larger box with main support at 5 cents. Now, I'm not saying we have to go down that much, but this is support, okay? So as long as we're holding above it, ADA has a chance to be long-term bullish. And I want to see then a reaction to this lower support region. And from there, a major, a major third wave could start that can take us really high, long-term. I mean, $10, $20, $30, maybe. Okay, I don't want to talk about crazy price levels. We talk about long-term, and only if ADA is able to recover after the next bear market. A lot of altcoins cannot do that, okay? So that is why we normally say that you don't want to carry an altcoin into a bear market, because Bitcoin will outperform it anyway, right? Most likely, okay? Bitcoin will outperform it anyway, and it's just high risk because many altcoins never recover. There have been many altcoins in the past in the top 10 that never recovered, okay? And okay, they might still be alive, they might be grinding sideways somewhere, people tend to forget about them, and then at some point they die. So I'm not saying this will happen for ADA, I just want to highlight the next larger bear market will be the main stress test for ADA, okay? It has a long-term, potentially bullish structure. Now, what would be more bullish, and this is what the market will tell us, and then we can adjust our long-term view, it is a reasonable scenario, that's the white scenario. The white scenario suggests actually that a wave 2 already bottomed here in 2023. This is more bullish. You could call that a super cycle escalation scenario. I don't know. Definitely something to watch for. So I will be more directly bullish about ADA should the market be able to form 5 waves up in this cycle. So instead of just 3, okay, and until we get that next high, both white and yellow scenarios are going to move together. So then afterwards, when we get this wave 4 and this wave 5, this is where they will diverge, these two pathways. Yeah. So if in the move up after the next, let's say, substantial high, if in that move down, the market can hold a higher low, and I will provide support levels for that. Yeah. Then we can watch for one more high, and that would be more directly bullish. Then I would not watch necessarily the yellow scenario so much anymore, rather white, which means the substantial correction which should follow will still be substantial, but we should hold a higher low, probably even in the current price region. Yeah, so we might fall back into the current price region, but that could be a so-called nested 1-2 setup. Why is that so bullish? Because a third wave of an even larger third wave would start afterwards. So in the white count, a third wave already started here. And this would just be wave 1 of 3. Because the third wave is again a 5-wave move. And what we see here would just be a leading diagonal in wave 1 of the larger third wave. So if you're struggling with all of these, what is a diagonal? If you want to learn about Elliott Wave, I'm recording a lot of tutorials that are published here on this channel. You can also check out our crypto membership. In there you find a lot of tutorials. Again, the links for those are in the description. But those tutorials will follow. We've got them all in our membership anyway, in a lot of detail. But diagonal just means you get a lot of these messy price structures, and that can happen in a wave 1. From a sentiment point of view, that makes sense because after a large correction, the market is just not clearly bullish yet. And then after that wave 1, when it's finished, people get scared again, and that's when people don't buy because they're scared. And then the third wave will typically catch them all out. So that's the long-term view. I mean, this would be more directly bullish, but I cannot give you a support area really yet until we have a top. We don't yet know if it's yellow or white, but both are bullish. White would be more directly bullish and would give us more clarity really. So before we finish the video, I want to share with you the shorter time frame, but please note that you get the rapid market updates on the Morecryptoonline channel. This here is just really, I just want to talk about the range because this will have moved probably by the time you watch the video. What is really important to keep that scenario alive that I just shared with you is that we're holding the 3rd of February low around 50 cents. I mean, that's the invalidation point, the red line here. What we need to see ultimately to get out of this broader range is a break above the $1.16, $1.17 level. This is all super choppy. And a lot of people will tell you that the market will likely lead to another low or form another low because this is all corrective. Well, it is, but I explained to you that this could just be some kind of a diagonal pattern to the upside. So we just have to be ready that the market might go up despite not very impulsive looking structures. So the move up, for example, from the 3rd of February low is a 3-wave move up. From an Elliott Wave point of view, that's not impulsive, which is therefore, it's no surprise that when Trump made that announcement, I think it was on Sunday, about the digital assets reserve, where he said that ADA, assets like ADA or coins like ADA would be in there. So we don't even know if it's going to be ADA, okay? Don't know. Let me know what you think. But anyway, it's because of that structure, no surprise that we get a lot of up and down volatile movement. I mean, this is, again, a 3-wave move up. It's not clearly impulsive. It's not clearly bullish. Okay, it's not. We need 5 waves from an Elliott Wave point of view. Whenever we get these 3-wave rallies, it's just very fragile. So that's just what I want to communicate. Viewpoints can shift quickly at the moment. A lot of altcoins are in that same situation. We don't have a lot of impulsive price action in the crypto sector. So that's what I wanted to communicate about ADA. I hope you liked the update. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment, and subscribe. Let me know in the comments which other cryptos you want me to cover here going forward. Which other topics are you really interested in? And make sure that you follow our channels. You'll find them also linked in the description. Thank you very much. Have a great day. Bye-bye.